Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking on a mission that feels really delicate. We're talking about shipping fresh flowers for preservation.
Right. And this isn't just about sending a bouquet across town.
No, this is for those really sentimental items. A bridal bouquet, maybe a centerpiece from a huge event, something you need to get to an expert, often states away in perfect condition.
It's one of those things that just feels, incredibly high risk. You look at these flowers and think, how can they possibly survive days in a box?
Exactly.
But our mission today is to eliminate that gamble. We've gone through guidance from the experts, the people who do this for a living, to give you a very precise step-by-step roadmap.
And what we found almost immediately is that pretty much every instinct you have about shipping something fragile is wrong here.
Completely wrong.
If you just toss them in a box, they're going to deteriorate. But the single most surprising thing for me was right at the start.
Oh, absolutely. Most people think, okay, to keep something fresh, you need two things.
Yeah.
Cold and sealing it up tight. Ice packs, a cooler, wrap it all in plastic.
Right.
But the sources we looked at are so emphatic, forget all of that.
That's the key. The experts are very clear. You do not need a special cooler. A plain old shipping box is fine. And, even more importantly, you have to get rid of almost all the plastic packaging around the actual flowers.
It fundamentally changes what you're trying to do. You're not trying to freeze time. You're managing very specific biological risks.
It's all about moisture control and airflow, not temperature.
That's it. A flower is still, a living thing. If you cut off its air, you trap its own moisture, its own sweat, basically.
You create a little sauna of death for the petals.
Exactly. You create a microclimate that speeds up decay way faster than a little bit of heat ever could.
Okay, so let's unpack this. If we're throwing out the idea of a cooler, what do we actually need? That's the bare bones toolkit to get started.
It's surprisingly simple, which is great. First, of course, you need the blooms. Second, a cardboard box.
Any box.
Any sturdy box that's big enough so the flowers aren't crushed. The source literally says a standard shipping box is just fine.
No thermal lining, no extra expense. Love that.
Nope. And third, you need box filler. So we're talking packing peanuts, crumpled paper, tissue paper, that kind of thing.
Okay, so a box and some filler. That brings us to what feels like the main rule of this whole thing.
Yeah.
The golden rule of the bloom.
It's the big mindset shift. The number one rule is that you have to make absolutely sure that none of the actual flower heads, the petals, are covered by anything.
They have to be exposed to the air.
Completely exposed.
Which feels so backwards. You're shipping something fragile. Your instinct is to cocoon it in bubble wrap.
Right. But the enemy here isn't impact, it's moisture buildup. A cut flower is still breathing, in a way. It's releasing water vapor.
And if you trap that vapor with plastic,
You get condensation, the flowers start sweating inside this little plastic bag, and that's when you get mold, rot, all the bad stuff. It happens so much faster than just wilting.
so we're thinking anti-suffocation, not anti-impact.
Yeah.
Okay. So the petals need to be exposed, but the plant still needs water to survive the trip.
And that's where this really... Exactly. You take a plastic bag and you cover that entire wet paper towel wrap. This part is critical because it keeps the water in, right at the stems, and stops it from leaking all over the box.
And you just tie it off with a rubber band or
A
something.
rubber band, a twist tie, whatever. You're creating a tiny sealed-off humidity pack just for the very ends of the stems.
So it's like a little canteen for the journey, but it's totally sealed off from the petals.
Precisely. It's so simple. Wet paper towels and a baggie. But it's the perfect balance. The stems get water, but the petals, which are the parts you need to preserve, can start to, air out.
That is just so clever. Okay, so once the stems are all set up with their water pack, we move to the box itself.
Right. So you take your box and you fill the bottom of it with some of your filler material. Peanuts, crumpled paper, whatever you're using. You're making a nest.
And this is where that big plastic warning comes back in.
Yes. It's so important. Do not use any plastic wrap or anything like it inside the box around the blooms.
So no wrapping them to, hold them together.
That would be a disaster. You'd just be trapping moisture again and undoing all your careful work. That plastic wrap is a death sentence for flowers in transit.
So the filler, the paper, or peanuts, that's what's holding them in place, not some kind of wrap.
Exactly. It cushions them without suffocating them. You place the bouquet upright in the nest you made, and then you gently fill in around it with more paper or peanuts.
So they should be snug, but not crushed. Secure enough to handle being shipped, but loose enough for air to get around the petals.
Yeah, you're relying on the filler to keep it stable, not on a tight enclosure. You fill in all the empty space, but you make sure the blooms still have a little room to breathe.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so the flowers are secure, they're hydrated, they're breathing. We're not done yet, though. There's an admin step.
A mandatory admin step. And honestly, it's just as important as the packing itself, the paperwork.
What happens if this perfectly packed box shows up at the preservationist, but there's no paperwork inside?
It just sits there. It's in limbo. And you're losing critical time. They don't know who it belongs to, what services you paid for, nothing. Every hour it sits is an hour of decay.
So this isn't just a sticky note with your name on it.
No, not at all. The source says you need to find the PDF printout on the company's website, usually under their shipping instructions.
And what goes on that form?
All your critical info, your full name, your phone number, and most importantly, your order number. That's how they track it.
And you also need to list what's actually in the box?
Yes, and be specific. Don't just write flowers. Write, one bridal bouquet and 2 boutonnieres, or 1 floral arrangement. That way they know exactly what to look for.
And you can add any extra notes, too?
Right. If you're worried about a specific flower or something, you can mention it there.
And where does this paper go?
It goes right on top of everything, inside the box. It's the first thing they see when they open it up.
Okay. Flowers are in, fillers in, paperwork is on top. Then you just seal it up.
Seal it up with good, strong tape, and you are done. You've done everything you possibly can to make sure they arrive perfectly.
It really does boil down to just a few key steps. Let's quickly recap the 3 absolute must-dos for success.
Okay, first, the stems. Wrap the wet, freshly cut stems in plastic to create that little hydration pack.
Second, the blooms. Leave them completely uncovered. No plastic, nothing touching the petals. Let them breathe.
And third, the box. Fill it with paper or peanuts to hold everything upright and cushioned. Absolutely no plastic wrap inside.
If you do those 3 things, you've basically taken a huge, daunting task and made it manageable. You're controlling the environment based on, the actual science of it all.
And it does raise a bigger question, I think. Knowing how dangerous trapped moisture is for delicate things, what else could benefit from this kind of open-air packing philosophy?
That's interesting.
I mean, think about shipping delicate fresh produce or specialty herbs, things that are really sensitive to condensation.
Yeah, that's a great point. The principle of let it breathe could apply to a lot more than just flowers. And for you, our listener, here's a final thought to take with you. The next time you get flowers delivered from any online shop, look at how they were packaged for that short trip. Do you see plastic sleeves wrapped tightly around the petals?
Almost always.
So think about whether that packaging is optimized just for a quick delivery, or if that same approach would spell disaster if the goal was long-term preservation. It's all about purpose-driven packaging.
It's the difference between transport for right now and transit for forever.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We hope this has given you the confidence to ship your own precious cargo.